This is for Lesson 8, Session 4. It's refine using addition and the subtraction strategies with the two-digit numbers. This will be tonight's homework. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will be our unit or Lesson 8 quiz. So just want to start out. So the example here, it says two numbers have a sum of 80. What could the two numbers be? Find three possible pairs of numbers. You can use any two numbers that have a sum of 80. I would stick to ones that have a 0 in the ones place or a 5. It might make it a little bit easier for them to find those answers. We talked about earlier last time about fact families. Fact families are where you do two addition and two subtraction problems for one equation, and you use those same numbers, but you just reverse what order they're in. So in order to find those, you can use fact families. So 20 plus 60 equals 80. Well, you could also say 80 minus 60 equals 20, or 80 minus 20 is 60. When you're doing the subtraction fact families, always start with the biggest number, and that will always stay that first number. That will always be the first number on those. And then you just reverse these two numbers. Then when you do addition, it will be 60 plus 20 equals 80. And then another addition is 20 plus 60 equals 80. So when you do the addition fact families, you put the big number after the equal sign, and then these two numbers just switch places. So I've done it for each of those. So 80 equals 45 plus 35. If I gave you two subtraction, you would start with the 80 minus 45 equals 35, and 80 minus 35 equals 45. So once again, just switch those two numbers, but keep the bigger number at the beginning when you're doing the subtraction ones. Addition will just be where you reverse these two numbers, and that will be after your equals. So down here in number 1, it show a related subtraction equation for each of the addition equations shown in the example. Each of these are addition up here, and so they want you to find some subtraction. So once I find the fact families, it kind of makes it easier. So if I was to do a subtraction one, I could do 80 minus 20 equals 60. It's right there. This next one, if I was to turn that into a subtraction, I could do 80 minus 35 equals 45. And then this one is, they've kind of reversed it. So it's 80 minus 30 equals 50. So those are the fact families. It's important for those to know. There'll be a couple questions on the test that will be handy if they know fact families. So let's go over the homework for tonight really quick. Number 1, Amada has 53 animal cards. Clay has 29 cards. How many fewer cards does Clay have than Amada? Show your work. Well, we know we start out with 53 cards, and Clay has 29 less than Amada. So we're going to subtract. I try to teach the kids, if it says how many fewer, that's always a sign that it's subtraction. And then we don't know what the answer is. So I want them to do a counting back strategy. When you do counting back, you always start with the bigger number, and you want to jump back or subtract 29. So that means you will have a total of 29 jumps. And then what you end on is your answer. So start at 53. Sometimes you can do it several ways. I sent your kids home with a paper today that looked something like this. It had a bunch of the strategies on: counting back, base 10 blocks, and adding up. So there was a bunch of those strategies sent home today in their blue folder. So be looking for those. Counting back, if you look on that paper, you always start in the bigger number. Now you can do it several different ways. We know that we need to jump back total of 29. Well, we need to start. I've started on this one, jumping back my tens, which is, how many tens are there? There's 20. So I go 10, 20, and that means I end on 43. So have them label each one 53, 43, 33. I end on 33. How many jumps is that? I've noticed a lot of kids just do a bunch of jumps. Some of them aren't understanding that each number, each jump, I call them little mountains. And then you count the top of the mountains. How many tops do you have? I have 2, which is 20. So I've made 20 jumps. I end on 33. Now, since I've already done my tens, I need to go and jump how many ones? 9. So I think it's easier, since you're at 33, let's get to the nearest 10. So I just need to jump 3 to get to 30. There's my nearest 10. Well, now I've jumped a total of 23, but I need to jump 6 more times so that I've made it 29 jumps. So from 30 minus 6 is 24. And they can count backwards if they need to. And you end on 24, and that's your answer. Now, to do the equation part, you'd start on 53 and minus your tens, which is 20, leaves you with 33. Put 33 right down here. You want to get to your nearest 10 that comes before 33. So how many jumps do I need to do to get to 33? Leaves you with 30, so put your 30 down here. And then I've already done 23 jumps. I need 6 more, so I'm going to do 30 minus 6 is 24, and that's your answer. Okay, I'm going to turn over to number 3. Number 3, they're going to need to use their fact families. That makes it a lot easier. Here's your equation right here. Okay, I want 2 subtraction and 2 addition for this one. We know that this number right here is going to be bigger than 23 or 61. So if we start out with our subtraction, I'm going to do the question mark minus 61 equals 23. Then I'm just going to reverse swap these numbers to do my second subtraction. It's question mark minus 23 equals 61. Now if I do 2 addition, obviously that bigger one is going to go after the equals. So you're going to use 61 plus 23 equals are unknown, or swap these, and it's 23 plus 61 equals are unknown. Then I go over here and I say, okay, look at your subtraction problems. Do you see one that has 61 minus question mark equals 23? So 61 minus, here's your minus. Is there a 61 minus question mark? No. So our answer on this one is going to be no. Okay, this one, I tell them, say, okay, it's an addition problem. Look at your addition ones. 23 plus 61 equals question mark. Is there one? Let's look at our addition. 23 plus 61 equals question mark. Yep, there is. So I'm going to circle yes. Okay, it's one subtraction. Look at your subtractions right there. Is there a 61 minus 23? Nope, there is not. So I'm going to hit no. Look at this one. Question mark minus 61 equals 23. Is that one over here? Yep, there it is right there. So circle that one. Okay, this next one, it says there are 83 people on the subway. 47 people sit in seats. The rest of the people stand. So how many people are standing? We don't know. So let's write our equation. We know that there's 83 people on the subway. 47 people sit down. So that means the rest of the people stand, but we don't know how many. Okay? So write an addition equation and a subtraction equation that can be used to find the solution. So that's our fact families. So if we write an addition and a subtraction, we could say 47 plus our question mark. We add those two numbers together, you're going to get 83. Okay, and the subtraction would be our big number, again, 83 minus question mark equals 47. So that's an addition and a subtraction one. So we want to kind of teach them that those equations are the same. They're just either subtraction or addition. Or you could even say 83 minus 47 equals the question mark. So there's several different ways that you can write that. All right, so now let's go on to number 5. Santo rides his bike 18 more miles than Anwar. Santo rides his 50 miles. How many miles does Anwar ride his bike? So you're going to want to do counting back on this one. Counting back. So when you count, let's first write our equation. So we know it would be 50 minus 18, because he did 18 less miles, equals question mark. Have them draw the line, the number line. Ask them, when you count back, what number do we start on? We always start on the bigger number, which is 50, and we need to go back 18. And then that final, wherever you land, that's your answer. But you have to do 18 jumps. So if they want to start by subtracting 8, that's fine. But whereas you're already at a 0 here, it might be best if you subtract your 10s first. So we look at our 10s. How many 10s do we need to jump? Just once, because we just need to go 10, right? Which puts you at 40. Okay, that's jump 10. We need to jump 8. So then they can jump 8. They can break it up and they can jump 5 and then 3 more. Or can they do the total of 8? But at whatever that number is they land on, that is their answer. Okay, so that is number 5. And that is it for tonight. It looks like it's just 1 to 5. So make sure that when you're doing these, once again, here's this paper. Review counting back. That was a counting back strategy. Base 10 blocks, and adding up if they're more comfortable with that on some of them. But we really didn't use a ton of that this time. It's mostly been counting back in base 10 blocks. Good luck on your homework tonight. If you have any questions, just please send me an email. Thanks. Bye-bye.